Good afternoon, everyone. Before we begin, let's seek the blessing of His Holiness Jagadguru Dr. Shri Shivratri Rajendra Mahaswami and His Holiness Jagadguru Shri Shivratri Deshkendra Mahaswami. On behalf of Youth Red Cross Unit of JSS Academy of Technical Education, Bengaluru, I, Nidhi Nayak, from 4th semester Information Science and Engineering Department, feel privileged and honored to welcome you all to the webinar on importance of blood donation on the occasion of World Blood Donors Day. Before we begin, I would now like to request our Dean of Student Welfare, Dr. B.P. Shivkumar Sir, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. By seeking the blessings of His Holiness Dr. Sri Shivratri Rajendra Mahaswamiji and the present pontiff Sri Shivratri Deshkendra Mahaswamiji, it's my pleasure to welcome everyone for this online program, Importance of Blood Donation, on the occasion of World Blood Donors Day. JSS Academy of Technical Education, Bengaluru, was established in the year 1997 under the umbrella of JSS Mahavidyapeta Mysuru. JSS Mahavidyapeta Mysuru is running more than 350 units, educational institutions across India. JSS Bangalore has given equal importance for all the activities, whether it is academic, cultural, non-cultural, whatever it is. Institution has been actively organizing many activities related to sports, cultural, technical, or any event for that matter which beneficial students and also the society. Through the support of NSS, Red Cross Society, or any other organizing bodies. Every year, JSSATEB used to organize a blood donation camp in the institute with the support of Red Cross Society. This year, in view of COVID, we are not able to organize blood donation camp in the campus. Even last year also we made attempts and we were not able to do it in view of this pandemic. Hence, this time we decided to conduct at least an awareness program about blood donation, and we discussed with our college authorities and we decided to organize a webinar on blood donation. We approached our medical college, BMC RI Medical College Institute Professor Dr. Srilata Madam, with the help of our NSS coordinator Dr. Girish. Madam has happily accepted our request. Dr. Srilata Madam, she is working presently as head of the department, professor and head of the department, Immunohematology and Blood Transfusion Department at Victoria Hospital, BMCRI, Bengaluru. Madam has been working in various capacities in medical field since 2009, and she will address the audience about the importance of blood donation. On behalf of the institute, I welcome Madam Dr. Srilata for this online program. I welcome you, Madam. I extend a warm welcome to all the deans, heads of the departments, and all the staff members for their presence and support to organize this event. Not but the least, I welcome all the participants, students, participants who have joined for this program in online mode. I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to call Dr. Girish and Sir, the Assistant Professor of Department of Mathematics, to introduce our speaker for today, Dr. Srilata Armam, to the audience.
Good afternoon, one and all present here. I'm happy to introduce today's speaker of the webinar, Dr. Srilata R. She born in Mysuru, completed her MBBS and MD in pathology from Bangalore University in the year 1988 and 1998 respectively. She has teaching experience of nearly 30 years and has worked in various cadres both in private and government institutes with many
ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸರ್.
Okay. So, am I audible now, sir?
Yes.
I'm happy to introduce today's speaker of the webinar, Dr. Srilata R. She born in Mysuru, completed her MBBS and MD in pathology from Bangalore University in the year 1988 and 1998 respectively. She has teaching experience of nearly 30 years and has worked in various cadres both in private and government institutes with many publications at national and international levels. At present, she is working as a professor and a head of immunohematology and blood transfusion since 2009. And she has set up a blood bank as a department with the 2 postgraduate students with the 5 MSc seats as a credential to this subject, which is one of its kind to the whole Karnataka state in government sector. She has motivation and interest in spreading the word of secrets of how to be fit in today's stressful life, and at the same time sharing goodness of our health and happiness to the needy by taking our health to the healthier side to possess self-satisfaction. Her favorite quote is help yourself to help others. Her hobbies are sports, singing bhajans, dancing classical, gardening, painting, drawing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request our speaker, Dr. Srilata Ma'am, the professor and head of IHPT Department, Victoria Hospital Blood Center, Bengaluru, to address the gathering on the importance of blood donation.
Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am?
Srilata, ma'am. Ma'am, your voice is muted.
ಗಿರೀಶ್ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ
ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
You are audible, ma'am.
I'm very much thankful for the organizers to invite me for this webinar. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. We are able to hear.
You are able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Shall I start the presentation? Without wasting much of the time. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, madam.
So I'll be speaking on the blood donation. So on this auspicious day of Karl Landsteiner's 153rd birth anniversary, which has been worldwide celebrated as a World Blood Donors Day. So you have chosen the right day and you will be remembering this for the lifetime. So you can become a blood donor. How to become a blood donor, good blood donor? That is what I'm going to tell you in a few minutes. So I'm from Victoria Hospital, as Mr. Girish has already introduced me. Thank you so much, sir, for the well introduction part. So the blood donors, everyone, they'll be fearing, first of all, they'll be fearing blood donation means they'll be fearing how to go about and why to give blood and all. So that is what I'm going to tell you in a few minutes. You need not be feared. First of all, if you have something in your mind that blood donation is most fearful and most painful, you should take it off from your mind. So let us now start with the criteria part. the criteria who can donate the blood is from which year they can start is, they can start, one can become the blood donor after 18 years of the age. Till 65 years of the age, one can donate. Just now, one of our ex-BMCRI student who has studied here, and he is going to retire from the government services within another few months. He was a good donor. He came and donated. Dr. Mohan, he is already 59 years old. 59 and a half, he was telling. So you can see that his aspiration to come and donate, that is the thing that we need to take it in today's life. So it has gone now a couple of years back. Until then, it was 60 years. Now, if one is a regular donor, you can keep donating till 65 years. So I will tell you why one can donate and how well you can remember your blood donation dates, how you can be healthy, how it has benefit, and all these things you will be learning in a few minutes. So the weight of the person, there are some criteria to fulfill. Just if you say, yes, I want to donate blood, we cannot just take from each and every one. There are some protocols for it. So one has to be 45 kgs and above to donate blood. Many of our students, also the female students, they won't be 45 kgs. I ask them, I tell them, I give them the guidance. Say it is not that you cannot gain weight. You can increase your weight also. I give them the tips how well they can reach the target point and donate the blood and become healthy. So that is my guidance. So hemoglobin, we'll be checking the hemoglobin. So the hemoglobin is the one, you know that the RBCs are the ones which carries the hemoglobin. That should also be appropriate. Here in this blood donation, there's nothing like a male or the female. Everybody is same in this aspect of blood donation worldwide. It is not just each one of the sections or the world, they have their own criteria. It is throughout the world, it has been having the same criteria which has been given by the WHO. It should be followed standard in all the blood banks. So here it is, whether it is a female or the male, it is 12.5 grams and above. The hemoglobin should be 12.5 grams and above. What happens is, in our Indian scenario, usually the females will be having the average hemoglobin value will be 10.5 grams only. So in that aspect, I keep giving them the advice how they can improve the hemoglobin and become a blood donor. So blood group, the importance of blood group, you know, all of us, we know our own blood group. There's a lot of importance also in the blood group. All the blood groups, including the negative ones are slightly rare in the population, but still even otherwise, whether it is a negative or the positive blood group, one has to come front and donate the blood. In a few minutes, that also you will come to know the importance of everyone should come. Why I'm telling you everyone should come and donate, because a few of the blood banks, they say, yes, if you are a negative blood group, please do not donate. They do say like this only, and they get dismotivated. So in this present aspect, in present day, they have mentioned that every blood group person has to donate blood to keep themselves healthy. So if we are healthy, then only we can think of others' health also. So in that aspect, everybody, whether it is B negative, O negative, AB negative, which is the most rarest, O negative is still more rare, just only 2% in the population, all of us should come front and donate the blood. So the next slide here, it shows the blood in the bag, to whom it is helpful. So actually, to tell you frankly, the A blood group here in this, it is not working, the video, it is not working. But otherwise, the A positive blood, if the donor is A positive, he can donate, his blood is compatible, his blood can be given to a person who is again A positive and AB positive. So if the person is in a few other slides, you will come to know. This can be, you can start this video. Oh yeah. Okay. Yes, sir. Are you able to see this video? A positive, it is, yes. A negative, it can donate, it can be donated for A positive, A negative, AB positive, and AB negative. B positive, his blood is compatible for AB positive and B positive. And if the person is B negative, his blood is compatible, can be given for B positive, AB positive, B negative, and AB negative. If the person is O positive, his blood can be given to all the blood groups of positive blood group. If the person is O negative, it has been accepted to all the blood groups, including negative and positive. So AB positive means they are called as universal recessives. It can be given only for AB positive. If the person is AB negative, it can be given for AB positive as well as AB negative. So this is what this video depicts. So by becoming a donor, one can save not only someone's life, at the present scenario where the components is done, you will be saving 3 to 4 lives, I can say, at one time of your blood donation. Is it not something really great? While we are alive itself, we can donate and save someone's life, some 4 lives at one time of blood donation. Is it possible by any other blood donation? Any other, not blood donation, any other parts of the body donation? We have noticed in today's scenario, we have noticed some person who met with an accident or something, organ donation. Is it possible to donate organ while we are alive? No, certainly we cannot donate the organs except the kidney. If we have been provided with 2 kidneys, 1 kidney with a lot of challenge, that too if the patient is not means a lot of criteria is also there for the acceptance of the kidney. One, we can donate the kidney. And whereas this blood is not, it is not like that. Every now and then in the sense, at least with the 3 months of gap, we can donate the blood. That's the greatness of the blood donation. As soon as it has been given, within 3 months, it will be replenished in the body. So this is also the same thing what I had mentioned just now, that is blood group and to whom it is received and to whom it can be given. All this is the same chart. So the pressure, the blood pressure also will be taking. The blood pressure should be within the normal limits. Within, that means 140 to 90 mm of Hg. Within the normal blood pressure, one can donate the blood. Just now I told you the ex-BMCRI person, the doctor, he had come to donate. He is an early hypertensive and early diabetic, but still he had kept his levels within the normal limits. So he wanted to donate the blood, and he has donated and taken the satisfaction with him of saving so many lives at one time. So now the food, how to prepare ourselves. There are something like that is also very important. If you come fasting, we will not allow you to donate at all. So you should have a good breakfast, high caloric food with low fat, and dinner. Your willingness, your preparedness should start 1 day prior to blood donation. So suppose if you are thought of donating blood today, yes, today is World Blood Donors Day, I want to donate. Your preparation to donate should start from yesterday itself. So I told our doctor, Dr. Mohan, whom I said, ex-BMCRI student, that sir, to him, I suggested him, sir, you should not take any of the tablets prior to coming. Have good sleep of at least 6 hours of sleep, and good proper dinner you should have, and breakfast also you should have, and then come, I suggested him. So the preparedness for the blood donation, it starts from the day before to your blood donation. So sleep, I have told you, at least minimum of normal 6 hours without taking any, the drinks, not going for parties and all these things. You should have a natural sleep for 6 hours and come to blood donation. The tablets I have told you, a few of the tablets like acne tablets, growth hormone injections, aspirin, antiplatelet medication. So these are the tablets. Even the normal the crocin also should be avoided to take the tablets before blood donation. Habits like smoking. Yes, many of our male, they have the habit of smoking and alcohol. That should be avoided. Smoking at least for last 4 hours, they should not have had the smoking. And alcohol at least for 24 hours, they have to abstain from alcohol. So now you can ask me, what is the purpose, why one should become a blood donor? What is the benefit for me? See, nowadays, every part of the life, every part of a step, it sees what is the benefit for me. The earlier days also, we have been knowing in the bank also, or the LIC policies, we were not knowing the policies earlier. Just making the policies, and they used to have lump sum of the money, and they were nominees like the youngsters, children. They used to kill their parents or whoever it is to have that lump sum amount. So nowadays, they have become aware. They start asking, what is the benefit for me while I am alive? In the same way, here also the blood donor, he asks, what is the benefit for me? So here is a very good benefit for us. So we all know now it is a COVID season. So before this COVID season, throughout the world, the global cause of death was heart attack. So the heart attack rate, this heart attack, it doesn't see they have made an extensive study over this heart attack. In a few minutes, you'll see the article also over that. It never sees any age in present day. Whether he is 18 years old or 80 years old, it doesn't see. There are 3 things which causes, they have learned about this heart attack. Why this heart attack is so much rampant? That is because of the air pollution, the automobile air pollution. That's the first thing they have noted. The second thing was about the nutrition. We don't have any nutritive food at all nowadays. All pesticided and insecticided food what we are consuming. And if we see the lifestyle, so lifestyle also has changed a lot. Even the vendor, the vegetable vendor is having his own tensions. So these are the 3 main causes that they learned. They did not stop just at that stage of learning what is the cause of a heart attack. They found out, they just went ahead to find out the solution, how to get rid of this heart attack. And they found that by donating the blood, whoever it might be, that's why I told you, whether it is B negative or B positive, O negative, anybody and everybody will be possessing their own hearts. They have to care for the heart. So that is why, according to the study, at least twice a year, if you donate the blood, so it will reduce the heart attack rate by 80 to 88%. Okay, so who doesn't want this? Everyone, all of us should try to take care of our heart, to nourish our heart in a good way. So that is why I'm telling you, whoever it is, whether it is negative or positive, we should donate twice. Actually speaking, the men can donate 4 times in a year with 3 months of gap. 4 times in a year. Women can donate 3 times in a year. So irrespective of the gender, whether it is female or the male, at least twice a year, if we donate the blood, our body will recognize this and start giving the benefit by keeping this heart attack at bay. So should we start donating blood and think about it? Yes, I feel we should. And once I read this article, I instantly I started looking after what I should consume, how I should proceed, and how I should donate the blood. That is what I did, and today I am a happy blood donor, I can say. So I started donating. Every year I do donate 2 or 3 times. This time I did not donate. Probably I will donate it a few months later. Now, I can say that by donating blood, cholesterol also been let out. You all have learned that cholesterol will be high. So this cholesterol, I can tell you one small incident about this cholesterol. At some year, at one stage, our own postgraduate, he came down. He wanted to donate blood for his own mother-in-law. So he came down and he said, ma'am, I am A positive. I want to donate blood and I want to keep it for my mother-in-law. Okay, fine, I said, because A positive is slightly rare also. But then he was very much intended to donate blood. So he said, okay. So then he donated, and then I instructed my own colleagues to keep it reserve, whatever he has donated, to keep it reserve. So to his surprise, to our colleagues' surprise, we saw he has donated and we separated out the blood and we saw he came running. Ma'am, what is this? It is the FFP after separation. We saw the fresh frozen plasma. It was full, very opaque, full, it was fat. It was full content of fat. And his mother-in-law, she was undergoing some cardiac operation. So for such a operation, such a big major operation, if we give this full high content of cholesterol contented blood, certainly we will be killing her on the table. So that's why then again, so immediately I called him back. What is this? What sort of mother-in-law you are going to give? Whether she's you want her to stay in good health, or what is your plan? I asked. Then he understood what I am asking. And then I showed him, this is what it has happened. See, he was not aware. He was not aware that he has so much of cholesterol in his body. Then he said, no, ma'am, no, really, I wanted to save her. That is why I wanted to give my blood to her. Please go ahead, you can. So I had to destroy that bag of his high cholesterol. Then he took a lot of anti-cholesterol tablets, and he usually keep messaging me now and then. So he became a very good friend of mine. So we are not aware about how good is our own health. Unless we donate, you will come to know, once you come to that blood donation, you will come to know how fit you are, how superior is your health is. That is the more best benefit and the gift what we get out of blood donation. So now the other things is weight loss. A few of people also donate blood for weight loss, and of course they will not be knowing that they have any bleeding disorders, because we'll be checking out for their blood. Just if they come, we will not allow them to let out their blood, and we will not take their blood like that. We'll put them into a few of the investigations, then only we will allow them, yes, this is safe and this can be issued to the patient. So they'll come to know their how their health is. About 1%, about 0.5 to 1% of them, they're not at all aware that they have blood cancer. That also we have detected out when they have donated the blood, and we have told them, yes, you have early stages of blood cancer, please go ahead. When such a thing has happened, really, they can it can be cured in a very short while, and their life span is increased. Say suppose any cancer for that matter, 10 years is a life means. So here in this cases, it can be increased to 15 to 20 years also. So that is a benefit of being a blood donor. So this is what is the article which shows how it is helpful in the heart attack rates. donation of blood is associated with reduced risk of myocardial infarction, it says. What are the other things we can prepare is the platelet-rich plasma, which has been used widely in the acne treatment and hair transplant also. So many of the therapeutic help also will be the benefit of donating the blood. We call it as regenerative therapy. So that is also there. For cancer patients, we take out the blood, the mother cells, and we transfuse it to the needy patients. That is also there. So a lot of benefit by becoming blood donor, I can say. So this is another famous video. Everyone knows. How easily, whoever, whichever profession they might be, person within seconds, we can lose them. We don't know this heart attack when, at what stage we can get. Any profession, any movement, we can lose a person heart
Madam, you are on mute, madam.
Madam, no audio. Hello, madam. Please unmute your voice.
Hello.
Yes, madam.
Yes, you have seen how dreadful is this heart attack, and how we need to care for this. Really, is it a must or not? Each one of you can think about it. So the effects of the recipient, how helpful is this? Might be 1 pint of blood what you give, it can increase by only 1 gram of hemoglobin. But it will have certainly a lot of other benefits also with that of the hemoglobin. Am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Yes.
Very much.
So here, the person who receives the blood might have sometimes, if it is not given in a proper way, might get some sort of chills, fever, itching, hypotension, all these diseases or respiratory difficulties, all these things can happen. Even in the late also, he might happen to get some transfusion transmitted disease, what we call. So why should we have such sort of we don't know the problems what we might face it after taking blood. Why should we go to that stage? Shouldn't we be in a good health all the time? We should be in a stage of donating the blood all the time, not receiving the blood at any given time. That's what I wish for. The need for the blood donor. So we have a lot of patients, especially the thalassemia cases, that has been that is a problem of a genetic disorder, wherein 10% of the India it is present, whereas the donors are only 2% of the cases are getting this blood. They'll be able to get only in 2% of the donors are ready to donate the blood. Every 15 days we need to give blood from the blood bank, then only they can survive. So it is in that stage, the thalassemia means the thalassemia or sickle cell disease, what we call, is all the genetic disorder. Unless we give them every 15th day, and in our center, Victoria Hospital, which is the biggest old hospital, 122 years old hospital, you are all very well aware about it. For the whole of Karnataka, I can say a biggest government center, which has a 3,750 bedded center. And we have more than 300 thalassaemic cases who needs blood twice a month. So you can imagine how dirt is our necessity for this blood. So that's what it indicates. The other departments like OBG, as I told you, it is a very ancient hospital, 3,750. Here, more than 100 deliveries happen in a day, not once a month. In a day, more than 100 cases. And you know, our hospital, all poor of the poor only depend on our hospital. So I hope that from next time onwards, you please consider us and give us camp also. And by then you get ready yourself. Who has to donate blood? How I can donate blood? How I can save? If you think of doing that, I think you are a good citizen. That's what I can say. Accident cases, you know, any and every accident cases in and around the Bangalore, it will be sent first and foremost to Victoria Hospital only. So we have cancer unit also here in Victoria Hospital. Cancer patients also do come here who are in need. So our hospital is the one who depends on, the people who doesn't have food to eat, they are the ones who depend on our hospital. They don't have money to eat food. How can we expect the blood to be there in their body? So our assessment from our department is every 10 cases, about 7 to 8 of the patients are in need of the blood. So you can imagine how much is the necessity in our department for the blood. Just a second. Am I audible?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam, you are audible.
So now how to improve? So that is why I'm telling you, whether it is male or the female, we have to get ready ourselves. We have to get ready ourselves to donate blood. We have to keep our body all the time fit. Not we'll think of saving others later. Let us save now our own health. Then we can help others. So how can we benefit ourselves? So I went on thinking about it. I'm a lady of 57 already. So I started donating the blood from 50th year of my age. So I'm a thyroid patient also. So from 22 years. So my hemoglobin always usually fluctuates from 10 to 10.5 like that. But here to become a blood donor, I have to have 12.5 and above. How can I increase? How can I improve was my first thought. So I went on Googling out. So I found all the vegetables in the market, everything. It Googles, he started giving all the vegetables, everything. But I'm a veggie also. But then I gave a second thought about it. So whatever the vegetables, the green leafy vegetables or whatever it is, usually we cook and eat. It's not a major food. It's a minor food, part of the food. If we consume along with the major food, how long does it take to improve my hemoglobin level? Gave a thought about it. Then I got the answer. It will take years together, might be 3 years also. Might be I might retire also, I felt. So then I thought I should improve my hemoglobin at any given time. Within a short time, I want to improve. Then I got the answer. So then from that time onwards, I started eating raw beetroot. Just scrape out the skin, cut out in 8 pieces and eat it raw first and foremost early in the morning after brushing my teeth. So this is what I went on doing. And within, you believe it or not, within 3 months, my first donation was in the year 2014. Blood Donors Day only. Many of my colleagues, they said, Madam, please don't donate. They were not promoting females to donate, and especially they knew that I'm slightly hypothyroid patient and all these things. Then when I checked, my hemoglobin was above 12.4. So plus or minus 2, certainly we can donate. So I thought I will go ahead and I will donate. I was very little bit adamant on that aspect. So I donated, nothing happened to me. From that time onwards, I started donating every year, at least minimum 1 time I do donate. Twice, so definite. On my son's birthday, I thought of why and how to remember is another big thing that I learned from my own student. So I used to promote this. Yes, for the girls also I started promoting. Yes, if you want to keep up your heart healthy, care for yourself and care for others also you can share, then eat this beetroot. Not drinking beetroot juice, it will go to the colon absorption, not much will happen. Again, it will take years together for improving the hemoglobin. So that's why I suggest to eat. Whenever you have teeth, please use that and eat a beetroot so that it gets absorbed at the usual level, that is ileum, the small intestine. It gets absorbed, and you will see the changes very early, and you will become eligible to donate blood. So those who doesn't have teeth, I usually prefer, please give them crush. You can crush it and give the beetroot instead of going ahead with that of the juice. That's what I suggest. So with this, really, I found good results. I do suggest this to all the females, and of course, even my student who was male also, who came with me, came to my department with 9 grams. I was surprised. Usually the male will have the hemoglobin, good hemoglobin from 12 to 14 grams. But this boy, he had 9 grams. Then I suggested, please go ahead, Pa. This is not fair enough. Being a boy, you should not have 9 grams at all. It is shame on my part if I do not give you a good suggestion. So I suggested him. He took my suggestion strictly, followed the whatever I told him. He donated the blood, you believe it or not, within 15 days. He donated the blood and he left the department. This is the secret. This is what I wanted to share with you all. So this is what in the picture you are seeing, the beetroots. Many of them I have noticed. The first thing I ask them is, have you tasted raw beetroot? Yes, they say. And some will say the color itself, it pushes us back. It is very reddish, we can't consume it. And some say the taste is very bad, madam. I can't taste only. Then I suggest them, I have a suggestion for that also. So I suggest them, please put pepper and salt over it. And little bit lemon over it. Sprinkle the lemon if you like a little tangy taste. And you consume it. It will be very good. 5 minutes you leave it and consume it early in the morning. It will improve your hemoglobin. And my students, a few of them, they have done study also. Half of my interns, they used to follow my guidelines, and half of them, they took the tablets. The students who took the tablets, they did not improve their hemoglobin at all. They came back and said, no, ma'am, I'm tired. Even after taking 3 months, 3 years, no, it is not improving. They came down. But whereas this one, the natural one, to whom I suggested, please go ahead. Certainly they donated the blood. They were very happy to be the donor. That's the secret of the beetroot. I suggest nowadays, not the apple. They say, no, like the apple a day keeps the doctor away. No, I say the beetroot a day keeps the doctor away, because the beetroot is the only vegetable which has the capacity to absorb the iron from the mother earth. So that is the best thing. That is what I reasoned it out. I got it, and I got the solution. And now I am very proud to say that my hemoglobin is 13.5 grams. Never looked back. Apart from beetroot, never looked back. I do consume raw beetroot all the time. So please take this seriously about this beetroot. You can make it sweet also. Sweet beetroot. Sprinkle some jaggery water to it and it becomes sweet. So then you can consume. Never give any reason to leave this beetroot. That's what I suggest. So yeah, at our center, I have found many of them are the farmers who depend on my hospital. So they, very much our care hospital is close by, very next to our hospital. They are all farmers. They do they come from all the villages. So close by villages, they whatever they have grown, they dump it in the care market. And they say, they will say, and they will come down to getting themselves tested. So when they come, nearly we find that that's what I had told you, like earlier, amongst the 10 of them, 7 to 8 of them will be in need of blood. They're all our staple food. The Karnataka staple food is ragi. Ragi is again another rich food which is very rich in iron content. About 90% of the yes. Am I audible?
Yes, madam, you are audible.
So ragi eaters, ragi growers and ragi eaters. So they consume ragi in ragi ball form. Everybody, all of us know how we need to consume the ragi ball, right? So ragi ball we do consume in a very gulak. We need to swallow it, right? So when we swallow it, not the complete amount has been absorbed. Our villi, like intestine doesn't have any choppers there. So it will just push front. So it will get undissolved and unabsorbed food will be released, and that's how they will be again anemic. So I started correcting my own interns, young doctors, saying that, Appa, you will be doing your OPDs there. Please give them the suggestion. What suggestion? You go ahead. I don't deny that. You should not eat ragi balls at all. That is the staple food. They have to eat because early in the morning from 5 o'clock to evening, 5 to 6 o'clock, they'll be working in the fields where there is no darshinis or something to have here and there close by as we have in cities. So my suggestion is early in the morning, they have to consume ragi porridge. Ragi in the form of porridge. So either salted ragi or sweet ragi. So it is very easy to prepare. That's also I do suggest to my young friends, doctor students here. Very easy. Take a lukewarm water for one person, 1.5 glass of lukewarm water. Add 2 teaspoons of normal ragi to it. Soak it for 2 to 3 minutes. Adding to that little bit of jaggery powder, not sugar. Jaggery powder, again, jaggery is very rich in iron. That's what I suggest. So after that, after 3 or 5 minutes, again you put it back on the stove and keep stirring it until it gives a thick consistency. So this is very rich in iron as well as calcium. So this is what I suggest them, because we need 45 kgs and above. And many of our students, they are from far off places, leaving their parents. They come from all over India. So here the food will not be palatable to them. So I do give them suggestions. Yes, please go ahead. With this also, it works out very nicely. Within 5 to 10 minutes, a cup of warm ragi porridge will be ready. You drink that early in the morning once and in the night twice. If you drink it along with the food, they should not skip their breakfast nor the dinner. Along with that, if they consume, their hemoglobin also will increase, their weight also will increase. So by suggesting this, many of them have taken this suggestion. They have, after taking this suggestion, they have donated the blood and they have left my department. So yes, these two things I usually suggest to my students, and looking to their socio-economical status, I do suggest, because I cannot suggest beetroot. Okay, they can take early morning. The people, the patients who depend on our hospital, they do go ahead. But the same advice, we do camps in the multinational companies, big multinational companies, before this corona situation, BC, what we call it as BC, before corona stage. We used to have good blood donation camps in multinational companies and all. It was not like work from home at all. So we used to go for multinational companies. They were all very nice, good-looking people. They wanted to donate blood. But when we come to the hemoglobin level, they will not be eligible at all to donate blood. What to do then? I cannot give them the suggestion of ragi porridge nor the beetroot, because they used to live, you all remember that they used to live in the midnight. Cabs used to come to collect them early 2:30, 4 o'clock and all. They used to come, the cabs used to come to collect them, to take them to the office. So I can't suggest them, you please take beetroot, take away the peel it and then eat it. I can't even tell them porridge, ragi porridge. So I thought, I gave thought to my brain, then I got the solution. So here is the solution, that these are the ones, that is the fig, dry fig, and the almonds, resins. Cashews, I don't usually suggest. Cashews are rich in fat, so I don't suggest that. But just one or two, if you eat, it is not suffice. You should know when to eat and how much you should eat. I usually suggest 3 to 5 anjir. This one, the right side one, and 10 to 15 almonds, badam, 10 to 15 resins, and 3 to 5 dates also I do suggest. So all put together, it will be hand fist of it. They should only carry it in the box. This is especially for the MNCs I have suggested, but anyone and everyone also can follow this. My own other students who are good, they have come from a good socio-economical status, and they can store it, they can eat it, they can afford for it. Yes, they can. I have suggested them, they have gone ahead and they have consumed this all together, 1/5 of it. The dates also, about 3 to 5 of it. Early in the morning, they have to chew and eat. Then only they can see the results. So within 15 days, they have donated the blood after eating, consuming this also. So what I suggest is, one is either 1 week you can go ahead with beetroot. You will get bored, no? All the time eating same thing. We are human beings. We want different varieties. So 1 week I give them, you please go ahead and try with beetroot, raw beetroot. Another week, if you can happen to prepare, yes, go ahead with porridge, which is rich in iron and calcium. And another 1 week, you can go ahead and try the dry fruits, all put together, 1 fist of dry fruits. Just wash and keep it, and you eat it early in the morning. For the MNC people, I used to tell them, keep it in the box and eat it while you are traveling in the cab. So they did it, and they were very happy also about the suggestion. So now, what are the myths that usually we'll be facing when we go? I told you, like now today also we had one person who was not willing to donate also at all. He was very scared. His friend was donating the blood, and he was sitting outside. I told him, "Are you not been bitten?" Appa, he's a Kannada person. Are you not bitten by the ant? I'm not asking cat or dog or rat also. People will be afraid of a rat also. So the mosquito or the ant, are we not be bitten so many times? Yes. Are we afraid about that? No, not at all. That's all. The blood donation also, many of you who are hearing also will be the good blood donors. You just question yourselves and you motivate others also. First, you take out that myth or phobia from your mind, that it is painless procedure. Okay, so it will never make weak. Some people, they have the myth stating that if we donate blood, will become weak. No, certainly not. Will not become weak. In fact, more blood regenerative, it gets regenerated, new blood. We are giving it it is something like you give and you will be healthy. It's like that. We have to keep giving, then only our body will be healthy. We are activating it, activating the system to be healthy. So one should not be have that concept at all in their mind. Some people will be thinking it is very time consuming. How much blood do you take? They'll be asking. We'll be taking out of 6 to 6.5 liters of blood in the body, in our body, which will be circulating. We are being guided. We are being given the standard protocol from the drug controller. It comes in a drug controller system that not more than 350 ml to 450 ml we can draw. But here, since I am there in this institute and I have to motivate many of my newcomers, young donors, first-time donors, so we have standardized for 350 ml only. We never take 450 ml at all. So 450 ml usually can be given also by the repeated donor, not the first-time donor. So I have standardized to only to 350 ml. So 350 ml means how much they can, means our people, since they have come, they'll be coming, many of them, they'll be coming from a village side, not so very educated. A big lassi glass of it, lassi. Nowadays the lassi bars have been closed, but even otherwise at home also we'll be having a big water glass. Only that much only we can take out from the body, anybody's body. Even if you say, yes, he is my enemy, please take out more blood from him, certainly we cannot take. Not more than 350 ml at one time of blood donation. So that we have to remember. And that 350 ml will be drawing not slowly. While giving the blood, it will be given slowly. It will be running for 2 hours, like that. Here, while drawing, it has to be drawn within 5 minutes, within 5 to 7 minutes. Otherwise, it will get clot. Okay, so that's why one has to not think of time consuming. Once the needle, it goes inside the body, the needle, we should not fear for the needle at all. Really, it is just as simple as the ant bite. We should relax and let our hand free to allow the other person to draw the blood. If we hold it very tightly, certainly the opposite person who has to put the needle has to apply force. So that force will cause the pain. Now you decide whether you want that forceful insertion or it should be a sweet bite as simple as ant. So that is what I tell first thing to my students there when we go for a motivational camp for the colleges and all. They'll all be apprehended. Abba, I'm afraid of injections only. How I can give blood donation? It is so much scary. So that is that myth that they have to take away from their mind. So there the injections will certainly will be painful. Even I was at one time, even I was a child, I'm a human being. I have crossed all the stages. So at one time of my age, I was very much afraid. 4 to 5 of them, they had to hold me tightly. Then when I came to this MBBS, I started learning what is the cause of the pain and all these things. Then my mind got set to it. I never apprehend, I'm not scared now at all. There are injections, yes, of course, I do agree. It is slightly painful because some amount of chemical, that's the injection. Liquid part, it has to enter the body. They'll be injecting inside the body. Here in blood donation, are we injecting anything? No. It is simple as plain needle, which will be inserting and drawing the blood. It will be sucking the blood. It will automatically get sucked because the blood bag is kept at a lower degree. Because of the gravitational pull only, it will get sucked and it will automatically, without causing little pain also, it will get collected. Blood will get collected in the bag. So that is the thing that you have to motivate your children, your students, yourself. If you have a myth about the fear of pain at the time of blood donation, please take away from your mind set. So it is sweet as an ant bite, you have to think. So I think with that, I have cleared that doubt of pain about the blood donation. Weakness will not be there at all. It will not hurt. It is a painless procedure, I can say. So other myths are, people will ask, if I donate the blood, I'll become weak. So certainly not. You'll not become weak. You'll become, in a sense, weak in the sense, anemic. You'll be losing the blood. Whatever you lose within 3 months, the liquid part, that's why we give you advice also. Before donating the blood, you drink lot of water. After donating the blood also, you drink at least 2 to 3 liters of water now and then. That is the advice, standard advice we do give for all the donors after donating and before donating. It means within 24 hours, the liquid part of it, the liquid part of the blood will get replenished within 24 hours. Only the cellular part, that is the RBCs, WBCs and platelet, it will take its own time, like 3 months. It will take time for the full of whatever we have donated the blood to get replenished. That's why we say with the 3 months gap, one can donate the blood. So here, phobia, I have covered it. So for the anemic, can we donate blood? We'll be checking them. So this is what I give them the advice. That is raw beetroot, ragi porridge and dry fruits to eat. Phobia, I have covered it by to overcome the phobia by motivating the patient. So, yes. While when we come to the blood donation camp, people will be afraid to see the bags, the number of the bags. There is a single bag, there's a double bag in the picture, there's a triple bag in the picture, there are 4 bags, quadruple bags in the picture. Okay, so people will be fearing for that. Hey, ಇವರು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರೋಲ್ಲ ಮಲಗಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವರು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನೋಡು 3 ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟವ್ರೆ. Certainly not. Whether it is triple bag, double bag or quadruple bag, we are bound to collect in only 1 bag, that is mother bag. If we are carrying, if we are giving 3 bags means your blood will be getting, after getting the blood from there, from the campsite, will be differentiating it as the red blood cells, packed red blood cells, and liquid part we differentiate, and that is called as fresh frozen plasma. And you all know platelet, they'll be asking the dengue season, they'll be searching for platelets. So yes, platelets also will be segregated. So like that, we'll be using double bag means your blood will be differentiated in 2 and it will be held for 2 people. If we are differentiating, if we are giving 3 bags means you will be saving 3 lives. If we are using quadruple means you are saving 4 lives. Don't you feel happy about it? Certainly, we should feel happy about it and feel that satisfaction also, self-satisfaction also. So a bit of it's how you might be thinking, what will happen to our blood when we donate the blood? This is how it will be segregated. There is a separator there, manual separator. It will be centrifuged, and we will separate out the liquid part of it and solid part of it, and we store it in. This is a centrifuge. What you'll see in a separate temperature, it will be separated out. Yes. And it will be stored in a separate temperature. Each of the blood components should be stored, and it will be stored in a separate temperature, in a separate refrigerator. You can see the different various temperature in which it has been stored, and for how many days will it last. So the whole blood and the packed cells, we can keep it for 35 days. And platelets, of course, has a very short life. Only 5 days we can keep. The fresh frozen plasma and cryoprecipitate we call, which is rich in the other coagulants, we can store it for 1 year. So these are the tests, these are the missions in which it will be put for testing. So without testing, we cannot give off or issue your blood. Whatever you give, the blood, whatever has been collected there, it will be tested for major diseases like HIV disease and HPSAG or liver disease, and HCV, that is also a liver disease, and syphilis we call it a sexual transmitted disease, and malaria. These are the 5 major diseases we'll be checking, and if it is free from these diseases, then only we will be issuing to the patients. So you will come to know, yes, I'm safe away from these diseases. That's what it indicates. When your blood is given, we do not give the report to anyone, it's confidential. If it is positive, then only we call them, we counsel them, and we give them the letter, yes, go ahead, and then you need to meet this doctor and get treated. So is it also not a benefit to get treated in early stages? Sometimes while taking the exams or whatever, we feel it strain and we feel it slightly feverish, not fever, feverish. So that means to say it is hidden, it is there inside. If we get treated, if we take at least 1 crocin or something, it will get, we can be free from that feverish stage. If we just neglect it, we might have to take 3 times, or might be for a week, we might have to take the tablets, whatever it is, crocin or whatever it is. So it's in the same way, if you are tested at this stage, you are not experiencing any symptoms. So, but still it might be hidden. So if we come to know, yes, we have some disease internally, if we take the treatment, certainly you'll be cured of within short time, I can say. So that's also one of the benefit of being a blood donor. This is how it has been. It will be tested with the patient's blood and donor's blood compatibility, and this is how it will be transfused. So this is our one of the interns. Where to start? I have many of my interns. Let's listen.
I had my blood bank postings in September, and that time when I checked my hemoglobin, it was 11.6. After that, I wanted to donate blood. I have always been rejected because of anemia. But then this time I had like fixed, no, I have to increase my hemoglobin and then donate. I started all the practices to increase the hemoglobin. I started having dry fruits in the morning, anjur and badam. And then I started drinking ragi sari with jaggery every morning instead of milk. And then in the night, I used to have pomegranate weekly once. With all this, in the month of Jan, I rechecked my hemoglobin. It turned out to be 13.4, and that day only I donated.
So you saw no how nicely they get rectified from anemia. It is not a very chronic disease. One can rectify and take the satisfaction of helping yourself as well as helping many people at one time. So here in this picture, you can see the camps we have been doing. We do not here in this blood donation. We do go for mosque, we do go for church, we do go for temple everywhere and every nook and corner. Wherever they call us for the camp, we do go. It doesn't, we do not differentiate, and blood donation has no region or caste in it. You can see our own staff, a lady staff who is donating there. This is a temple, Sai Baba temple, who they call us every year during Guru Purnima. Here is to the left is the girl, student, BSc is to candidate who was hypotension, always hypotension. She was very much adamant to donate on her mother's birthday. We said, no, ma, you are having a very low BP, how we can collect it? And I thought of, gave a thought to my brain. Then I said, okay, let us give her a little bit of, I asked her to lick salt 3 times and drink water. Within 10 minutes, then we drew the blood. Nothing happened. She did not faint or nothing happened. She was very happy. So this is what I suggest now. Then she said, yes, ma'am, I'm having hypertension. This problem even my mother has, my sister has. It's a genetic. So what can we do for that? To safeguard ourselves, when we draw the blood, they should not go for fainting. So that also we need to caution. I tell them, anyone and everyone, to my students, yes, if you find the BP to be low, ask them. Take, then no problem. They won't have any problem at all. So this is what I suggest. Even the hypertension people can come ahead and donate the blood. You can see many of the girls, how nicely they are all happy to come to that level of blood donation. They have donated the blood. At another picture, you can see along with me, many of the girls also came front to donate. Interns, our interns also came front to donate along with me. And yes, here is the picture where they take their experience for their lifetime. Females, the interns, the MBBS interns. Here is a proud couple, one staff couple who donates blood on their anniversary day. Both husband and wife, the upper part, husband and wife, they come together and they donate on their anniversary day. So they take the blessings in that way. So that is how I say that you remember according to your birthdays or anniversary, whomever you want to, of course, the parents, your own parents as a sort of gratitude. So you can remember in that aspect and you can donate, and that will be more ideal to remember your blood donation rather than marking up and forgetting. That's what I feel. So in this lower picture, you can see our students getting to know their hemoglobin level and blood checkup during their first year of their coming to the MBBS student as an MBBS student. Yes, here is a picture where a tall man standing there. He is a football player. he donates blood. And to the left, you can see a person, a boy in the Bermuda. He is physically not that very capable, but still he came friend to donate blood. That's the greatness. So physically handicapped also, if they are coming into the criteria, within the criteria, of course, we will be checking hemoglobin and all these things. Of course, if they fit into the criteria, certainly they can go ahead and donate the blood. So this is the World Blood Donors Day, which we had celebrated. Today is also World Blood Donors Day, but because of COVID, we could not go ahead. Two of our the YRCA girls, they were the first one to come and donate. We are proud about it. We had a small function and we felicitated them. In-house celebration it was, I can say. So you can see our staff and all the girls donating and taking the pride of becoming. So thank you everybody. And once again, thank the organizers of JSS College for giving this opportunity of motivating and telling the secrets about how to improve yourself, how to be the better person in this pandemic also. Within this, though it is a vaccination or pandemic, or whether it is COVID or the vaccination, one can donate the blood after 14 days and become the proud blood donor, I can say. So thank you once again, each and everybody. If any questions are there, I can clarify that.
Hello, madam. I have one question.
Yes, please.
So it is regarding platelet donation. What is the meaning of this, madam?
Usually, see, if you are giving whole blood, there also we can collect platelets, or otherwise, if SDP, we call it a single donor platelet. Okay, if the platelet count is too low, then if you want to improve the platelet count of the patient, then they ask for single donor platelet. So there, the person will be made to sleep, and along with the mission, it is a mission like how the dialysis mission is there. The whole of our body blood will be slowly taken away. It will centrifuge, it will separate out what it needs. That one will be collected. Rest of the blood will be going immediately, likewise the body, to the donor's body. So that is a single donor platelet wherein we can find good results within short time. Is that clear, or any doubt in that?
Yeah, madam, correct, right.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I would like to thank you. Your speech delivered was very informative, and I hope it inspired everyone today to join our hands and save lives.
Yes.
So it is indeed thicker than water, and we, the Youth Red Cross unit of JSS 80 family, request all for your selfless gift. It will go a long way, as you have given someone a lifeline just at the right time. Now, if the participants have any queries, they can raise their hand, and I hope they can put the message in the chat box and it will be answered, I guess.
Yes.
Madam, I have one query. I am Dr. Shivkumar.
Yes.
Suppose we want to organize a blood donation camp.
Yes.
What kind of facility support you will give? How frequently we can organize donation camp? Will you support for organizing blood donation camp?
Yes, of course. You have to give us a request saying that we are conducting the camp on such and such a date. So you please make arrangements to come down for the blood donation camp. So if you give a request, certainly we will make arrangements, and our camp team will be there. So the camp team will reach you on that day. So that is how it goes on.
Okay, we can organize any number of times in a year, maybe say
Yes.
twice, thrice.
Not an issue.
Okay, madam, and I have one more question.
Actually, one can donate only after 3 months, no? So it is at every third month or twice a year if you conduct the blood donation camps, that is more ideal. By then, the children whoever has donated also will have replenished. So it will be usually the college people usually they conduct twice a year.
So we can approach you, madam, whenever we want.
Certainly, sir. Certainly.
Thank you.
Ma'am.
And I have one more question.
Yes, sir.
Whenever I have been donating blood, even going voluntarily to hospitals, BGS hospital, Manipal hospital, like that. But whenever we go, they collect our samples and they may say whether they will not reveal about whether it is accepted or any problems in that. But how do you know that it is really used or not? I am in doubt.
You see, Tower Place or Victoria Hospital, you know, I have been telling you who are the people who are depending on our hospital, right? If you give it to any other Lions or whichever it is, which is not an end user, we are the end users also, is it not? We are connected with the hospital. So if you just give to a standalone blood bank, I do not know about its utility. I cannot rely on that. Okay, they usually usually it is done for the fancy sake to show the number. Okay, whether it is utilized or not, I cannot say. I don't want to comment on that part. It is not my proper way to comment on that. But you can understand about it. But I can say that 200% of whatever has been collected here, because most of the time it will be need, the necessity. You can see I have been telling you, the Vani Vilas, our necessity is for per day, it is 150 units it needs. Okay, so they are in need. Any patient and every patient, every department is in need of the blood here in Victoria Hospital. Okay, so here it will be fully utilized. But most of the time it will be, the stock won't be in a way to issue the blood at all. Okay, so much necessity is there to our hospital. So that's why if you want to say yes, we are given a good, we want to get utilized our blood, let it get satisfied. Satisfied means you should learn to which places you need to donate blood, where it will be utilized to the utmost.
Thank you, madam.
If you don't, yes.
Ma'am, I have one more doubt regarding the beetroot. So consumption of beetroot at times, I have heard people saying that they get joint pain.
Oh, no, not at all.
Is a myth, ma'am?
No, not at all. It's a myth again.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, regarding the sugar,
yes,
people having like type 2 diabetes patient, they eat this.
Yes, certainly raw beetroot, it will not cause any harm.
Okay.
Eating raw beetroot.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. If anybody have their queries,
any other doubts?
Diabetes, you can have ragi ganji also. That is the best. Even diabetes control.
Is there any queries? I'm not carrying the mobile questions.
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
There is current vaccination drive going on. So is there any loans with blood donation after vaccination or something?
That's what, only 14 days. You have to leave 14 days and on the 15th day, you are eligible to donate blood.
Okay, ma'am. So it's not required, like we have to be done with both the doses or something like that, right?
Yes.
People having taken the first dose of COVID vaccine, can they donate blood after 14 days before the second dose is done?
Yes, certainly, certainly. We can come down and donate the blood. Anything? Anything?
Madam, how to donate blood now in pandemic condition? What precautions we need to take to donate blood?
Precautions is nothing. You have to see that that's what if you're coming to my center, you have to wear mask. Otherwise, it is nothing. Within that stipulated time, that is testing and then donating the blood and going, half an hour it might take. Within that half an hour, no, I don't think anything will happen. So you can come down and donate blood also here. The only thing is you need to wear mask. Of course, hand wash and all as regular you're doing it. You'll have to do it. That's all. Any other doubt?
No, madam, that's all.
Right, right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you once again.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for your informative lecture.
Thank you, thank you. Please give us the blood donation camp opportunity
Yes,
for the blood donation camp. We are close by only.
Shortly, we will arrange, madam.
That is my yes, lockdown. Once the lockdown is clear, we can come. Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And now that we've reached the end of this webinar, I would like to call Dr. D.V. Ashoka, sir, Dean, to propose the vote of thanks.
Okay.
Today, we had an excellent presentation by an eminent speaker, Dr. Srilata R, Professor and Head, Immunohematology and Blood Transfusion Department, Victoria Hospital, BMCRI, Bangalore. Madam addressed the audience about the importance of blood donation. On behalf of the institute, I thank Madam Srilata for this online. Madam, definitely people are approaching you for blood donation camp in our campus.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I think by then all of you, even the females, will become more eligible by what I have given the suggestion. You will take it seriously and you'll become eligible to donate the blood and be healthy all the time. Thank you so much. Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you all for making this event a great success today. And thank you, ma'am, for once again.
I extended my sincere thanks to all the deans, head of the departments, the staff members, and event organizing team members for their presence and support to organize the event. Not but the least, thank all the students who joined for the program in online mode. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Girish, also for NSS coordinator, as an NSS coordinator who has given me this opportunity. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, all of you. Take care.
Actually,
God bless. Yes, sir. Anything?
Actually, last year we have taken the even dates for conducting the blood donation camp because of that lockdown.
Yes.
29th March we have, but 24th only the lockdown has come.
Lockdown came off.
This time we will arrange.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.